Hey, it's me, Mr. Brailsford. And today we are doing a Mario themed Achieve 3000 article. And I'm going to take all this stuff off. Okay. Alright, so if you remember last week we did the Mario Kart lesson for Mario Day. And we read an article along with the game. We're going to do a very similar version of that called Mario Still Super. And in Mario Still Super, it's going to talk about how Mario is so important to the Nintendo franchise. It should be a fun article to go through. There are some challenging vocabulary, which we'll go over quickly. Let me just bring up my slideshow. Too many things. Okay. So our first one is accessory. Accessory is an additional or extra thing. So usually people will hear, you'll hear the term like it's important to accessorize. Like people will have sunglasses, hats, necklaces. In video games, this means the extra things that you get with your video game console. In this case, controllers or video games. Sometimes you get different types of controllers, different things you can add. So I included all the way with people use accessories normally and then in the video game world as well. The other word that we're looking at here is confirm. And confirm just means to support or to say something is true. So what I chose for confirm is not this, because that's still accessory, is this. It's true, a thumbs up, a check mark. When something is true, it's confirmed. So we can confirm something, it's true. The other one, I just used this vocabulary word a second ago, is console. Console is a panel with switches and controls, sometimes in the form of a box used to play video games. In this instance, they're going to talk about consoles. Here we have the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch. These are video game consoles. I'm going to put the hat back on. I kind of liked it. All right. These are consoles. Dimension is a measurable thing. So something, or a measurable thing of some kind, such as a length or depth or height. When we talk about sometimes seeing things in 3 dimensions versus 2 dimensions, here I have this image. I don't know how clear it looks on my video, but you can see when you just have length, you just have 1 dimension. When you have length and height, or length and width, you have 2 dimensions. And when you have length, width, and height, you have 3 dimensions. And that's what makes our video game so cool nowadays. You can see all the dimensions versus an older game where it just looks like everything is on 1 piece of paper. Finally, penchant. Penchant is a very fancy word for saying a strong like for something. These are some comic strips about the word penchant. Here you have a person who has a penchant for golf. It's snowing outside. It's freezing. He's not going to stop. He's going out golfing. And then here is another person. They say that the only thing stopping their friend from working at the bank is his penchant for stealing. So if someone is stealing, they would obviously be bad for a bank. And if they really like doing it, then they should not work in a bank, right? So like I was saying before, we're going to do Mario is Still Super is the name of the lesson. When you get there, you're going to read the article at your level and then go through the activity. Here I'll do a quick read through of the stretch article, which is above 6th grade. So back in the 1980s, kids and teens used to play video games featuring Mario, a pot-bellied Italian plumber with a penchant, or a strong like, for rescuing princesses and collecting gold coins. It turned out that Mario was more than just a fad. He lasted into the next century, and today he's still popular. In fact, during 2009's holiday season, the newly released New Super Mario Bros. Wii was one of the top-selling video games. We even talked about how March 10th is a holiday for some people because it looks like it spells Mario. Mario could be the Mickey Mouse of video games, created by Japanese game designer Shigeru Miyamoto. The character is recognizable even to people who aren't gamers. It's true. Anybody who even doesn't play video games knows who Mario is. Mario pops up in Halloween costumes, blue overalls, a red hat, and as does his brother Luigi. Sorry, that was very choppy. Mario has been in cartoons and movies, and he graces oodles of official and unofficial Mario merchandise. All of this is official from Nintendo, by the way. If you want to start running ads on my YouTube and paying me to do these, I would love it. Today's younger Mario fans weren't even born when the character was created. First called Jumpman, he debuted in 1981 in the arcade game Donkey Kong, manufactured by the Japanese company Nintendo. Jumpman had to save a damsel from a big ape. His first job was in carpentry, but later he became a plumber, and in many games he traveled up and down in world of underground pipes. According to legend, Mario's name came from a real-life drama. In his book, Game Over, How Nintendo Conquered the World, David Sheff wrote that Mario was named after the landlord who owned the building where Nintendo's U.S. arm was located. Nintendo hadn't paid its rent, and Mario, the landlord, kept demanding it. The company had never confirmed or denied that story. The story behind Mario's design is easier to figure out. Many of his features came about because of the early days of video games design. Arcade games had limited computer power and displayed only a few colors. For example, Mario's creators had given him a hat to avoid trying to render hair. The character's supersized mustache easily hides facial features, which even now remain difficult to program into video games. In the mid-1980s, the unlikely hero helped save the U.S. video game industry, which had enjoyed early success but seemed ready to collapse at that time. Companies flooded stores with mediocre games, thinking that video games were just a fad. All it took was one charming, imaginative game to help create a video game industry that is still thriving today. With the launch of the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, in 1985, which in the US came bundled with Super Mario Bros. Video games became a household phenomenon. Nintendo sold 60 million of the consoles. Video games remain popular today. In 2008, Americans spent more than $21 billion on video game systems, software, and accessories. Remember, those are the controllers and added things. A good chunk of the money goes towards buying Nintendo products. The new Super Mario Bros. Wii, created for Nintendo's Wii game system, is similar to Mario games in the 1980s and 90s. The game is played in 2 dimensions rather than 3, and the characters move mostly left to right, jumping on platforms, stomping on enemies, and ducking through pipes into hidden areas. Critics have given the game mixed reviews. Some expressed disappointment that the game isn't more inventive, but said it would probably attract new fans anyways. It's the latest in the Mario phenomenon and doesn't appear to be slowing down. In all, Nintendo has sold more than 222 million games under the Super Mario name. There are more than 100 games for various gaming systems in which Mario is the primary character, and many more in which he makes appearances. Ian Bogost, the college professor who studies video games, says Mario's enduring popularity is not merely about nostalgia for the 1980s. Mario is really the mascot for Nintendo. Mario is more like a brand, Bogot says. You drink Coke or buy a Chevrolet, not simply because of the nostalgia, but because it continues to represent something that you value. Now, when you go into this, you're going to go to the article and then go to the activity. Make sure you're going back and forth between the text as you answer questions. I'm going to play this wonderful Mario music as we end our session today. Tomorrow will be a CNN 10 Friday, so be sure to look for the link on my page.